Hi, and welcome to Manflow Yoga. So if you're new to the channel, this channel, Manflow Yoga, is focused on the physical fitness side of things. So my name is Dean, and I'm going to be guiding you through a yoga workout tailored to golfers. So the exercises and the poses that I've selected for this workout are directly applicable to things that you will find in golf. So everything is going to be explained in relation to golf. All the poses that we cover will be explained in relation to golf. This is going to help you with your posture. It's going to help you with core strength, with preventing lower back pain. We're also going to help even out some imbalances that are caused by the golf swing, which is, of course, only done with one side, which leads to significant balances throughout your body. So we're going to get started, and yeah, let's get started. I've got my notes nearby just in case I forget some of the poses. We're going to start off in a basic mountain pose. So a mountain pose is just called, could also be just called standing up tall. I want your toes touching, your heels about an inch apart, pressing down through your feet, relaxing your arms along your sides, palms facing forward. And this is great because we're countering what you would normally do in golf, which is kind of hunching over the ball. So we're going to get your gaze up, looking forward, your shoulders pulling back and down, and opening up your chest. So you might feel some stretching in your chest area here. We also want to focus on engaging your abdomen, the front part of your stomach. And then also feel maybe some stretching in the back of your neck as you press your head toward the back and pull your chin in toward your throat. And here, we really want to focus on breathing in and out of the nose. So slowly in and out of the nose. This is going to help you control your body as you move through these postures, as you move through these exercises, but it's also going to help you relax as you prepare for your swing. So again, top of your head pressing up toward the ceiling, shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Maybe give your shoulders a little shake at first just to make sure that you're relaxed. And then making sure that you've got a straight line from your pubic bone up to your shoulders to ensure that your core is engaged, your lower back is flat. Breathing in and out of the nose. Next pose, we're going to go to a simple balance posture. So balancing on your right leg, bring your left knee up to hip level. Make sure your knee is at hip level again, and relax your left hip. So you don't want to be hiking your hip up above your right hip, but relaxing your left hip. And just balance on your right leg. Now, if you're a righty and you're swinging with your left foot forward, that means that you're going to have a lot more pressure in your left leg, which means that your right leg is not as strong. So we want to work on addressing this imbalance, and that's going to help prevent injuries, which happen to the knee if this imbalance is not addressed. So focus on engaging your right leg here, pressing down through your heel, staying up as tall as you can, and very similar to that mountain pose we just did, keeping your chest open. And then do a little bit of a twist to the left. You can bring your hand outside to your left knee, keep your head poking up toward the ceiling, and reach your toes toward your shin. Another breath here. Again, in and out through the nose. Relaxed. And then switch sides. Take your left foot down, bring your right knee up to hip level, and then stand tall. Again, relaxing the right hip, the hip of the lifted leg slightly. We don't want to make the hips imbalanced here, but keeping the hips even. Push down firmly through your left foot. Keep your chest lifted. Keep the top of your head poking up toward the ceiling, and your chin toward your throat, pulling your neck back. So you should feel maybe some stretching in the front of your standing leg. Definitely your standing leg working, your core working to hold you up here, and maybe some stretching in the back of the neck. Now we'll add that twist in. Left hand to the outside of your right knee. Look over to the side. Maybe extend your right hand toward the back if you want more of a twist, and reach your toes up toward your shin. So working on balance here, working on strengthening your opposite leg. Maybe if you're a lefty now, this is your weak leg. So strengthening this. And then bring it back to center. Lower your foot back down. I'm going to go through another balance pose now. So balancing on your left leg now. Cross your right leg over your left thigh, just above your knee, making a figure four with your body. This is called a figure four stretch. And then push your butt back and down, and lightly press your right knee toward the ground. You can use your hands to balance if you need to do some sort of surfing here, or if you want, you can bring your hands in front of your sternum for a little bit more control. Make sure you look down and you can see your whole foot. If you can't see your foot, that means your knee is too far forward. And we want to be able to see the whole foot because we're working on strengthening your glutes here. This is working on the posterior chain. So golfers need that strength in their glutes. They need the strength in their glutes, one, for power and swing, but also so that there's no injuries to the low back. A lot of lower back injuries are caused by just a lack of engagement in the glute area. So this posture, this exercise is, one, strengthening your glute in your standing leg, but also stretching your glute in the lifted leg. Let's go ahead and stand up and switch sides. And now you'll see this from a different angle. Balancing on your right foot, pick your left leg up, cross it over your right knee. And if this is really difficult, luckily for me, I have a surface nearby that I can balance on to help get into position, and that's perfectly fine. If you can't balance in this position, please, by all means, use something to support yourself. It's better that you use an aid of some sort to help you balance than balancing in the pose with incorrect technique. The goal here is to, again, stretch the glute in the lifted leg and engage the glute in the planted leg. And then once you get more comfortable here, you can drop your butt down more and start to lift your chest up. And when you start to flatten out your spine here, that's when your core gets involved even more to help you balance. And core strength is, of course, the center of your power in your body. And strengthening your core is going to help reduce injury, reduce pain in your lower back, and also increase your power in swings. Go ahead and stand up. We've got one more balance, and this is the airplane balance. So I want you to start with your left foot forward and your right foot back in a lunge position. And then from here, again, if you need that support to balance, go ahead and place your hands on something. If not, come to balance on your left leg, your hips above your ankle. Press your toes to the back in your right leg and bring your right hip down so that your hips are level. You don't want your hips open to the side like this. You want your hips level. In yoga, we're going to focus on keeping the hips squared up in almost everything. Your hips will be either facing straight forward or straight out to the side. Keep your back leg active. So even though you're balancing on your left leg, you want to keep your right leg strong here too. The more muscles that you engage as you're balancing, the easier it is to balance. And then open up your chest, arms along your sides, palms facing down. Bring it back up, and we'll switch sides. So now left foot to the back, starting in that lunge position, and then knee over the ankle, not passing the ankle, and move into an airplane on your right leg now. So hips above the ankle. Make sure that your hips are behind your toes in your front foot, so your toes aren't facing out to the side as you look slightly to the left of where your right foot would be. And the point of that is, again, glute engagement. That's what we're going for in airplane. We're working on balance and core strength, yes, but we're more so addressing glute strength. So really engaging your glute here, also working on external hip rotation, which engages your glute and also will push the range of motion in your glutes. All right, and then take it back to standing. And from here, we're going to move into some stable postures. So for this next stretch, interlace your fingers overhead, press your palms together, stand up tall, bring your toes to touch. Try to keep your butt under your torso here, so working on keeping that flat spine and the engaged core that we discussed. And then from here, big breath in, lift up, and reach over to the right, extending your arms. Now, if this feels uncomfortable for your shoulders, too uncomfortable, and you feel like your ears are coming up to your shoulders, pull your elbows down so your arms are bent. The goal here is to stretch the side of your body from your hip to your shoulder. This is going to do multiple things. So working on hip mobility is going to help increase the range of motion in your hips, which means more power. It also means taking some of the pressure out of your lower back and relieving lower back discomfort. The side stretch, so the upper body here, is working on stretching your lats and stretching your shoulders. So with increased range of motion in your shoulders, you also have more range of motion, which means more power in your shot. Bring it back to center, and then take it over to the left. Now remember, as you're going through these exercises, you're breathing in and out of your nose, slow and controlled. It's a little hard for me because I'm talking the whole time, but for you, it should be a little bit easier. Try to keep your chin up away from your chest and your arms reaching back. From the side, it should look like a straight line, up and down. Pressing down through your heels, keeping the core strong so there's no arching in your lower back. Chin up away from the chest, reach far over to the left, press your hips to the right, and then bring it back to center. From here, we're going to do a back bend. So fingertips reaching up toward the sky, lift your sternum up toward the ceiling, and squeeze your arms back. Now, this is great for golfers because we're getting you out of your typical golfing stance. We're not rounding forward, we're not rounding the back. Instead, we're doing the exact opposite. We're stretching the chest and arching the spine, which is going to help bring some balance and restore good posture. All right, bring your hands back to center, back to mountain pose, and we're going to move into some other strengthening poses from here. Next up is chair pose, and this is a fantastic exercise for strengthening your glutes and strengthening your core. For this, bring your big toes together, your heels about an inch apart, and then pretend like you're sitting back into a chair, hence the name chair pose. Keep your knees behind your toes, and the more your knees go back, even if you're leaning really far forward, you're going to target your glutes more, and that is the objective of this pose. We're strengthening the glutes, strengthening that posterior chain. And then from here, try to go as upright as possible with your upper back, with your torso, without arching your back. So no arching into your spine here. You should feel this mostly in your abdomen. And then if you'd like to get some shoulder opening, you can reach your arms up so that you're making a straight line from your hips to your fingertips with your arms. If this is really difficult, I suggest bringing your arms into goalpost arms. Most yoga videos, typical yoga videos, are difficult for men because they lack the shoulder flexibility that a lot of women do. So bending the arms like this not only helps make it more accessible, but also helps you to build into your upper body flexibility. Go ahead and relax and fold, forward fold, and this is going to stretch your lower back and the backs of your legs. Bend your knees as much as you need to feel a stretch in your spine. And relax your chin to your throat so that the top of your head is facing down. And then from here, half lift. So I want you to bend your knees, make your upper body parallel to the ground, and tuck your chin to your throat. You should feel stretching in the spine, engagement in the core, and stretching in your hamstrings. Fold back down. Look behind you. Inhale halfway up to a half lift. Again, bending the knees is very effective here for helping to target your lower back, and fold back down. Exhaling as you fold. One more, half lift. Pull your body forward, flatten out your back, and it's a really good idea to use a mirror to help measure this, to make sure that your back is flat, and then fold back down. All right, from here, move your feet about 6 inches apart. Take a big lunge back with your left foot. Keep your knee over your ankle and your front foot. This is important. Do not let your knee go forward like this over your toes. Keep your knee over your ankle so that the glute is more active and your hamstrings are more active. Pull your chest forward, keep your butt back, and then lift your right arm up and twist. So this is working on your strength in twisting, which is something essential to your swing. That is everything in golf, the twisting motion. Keep your head poking forward, reach your right arm up, focus on keeping your hips level, and then take your hand back down. Step back up to a forward fold, relax your head and neck, and then step your right foot to the back, moving into a runner's lunge on the opposite side. Again, knee over your ankle and your front foot, back leg straight, so lifting this back thigh. And then reach your left arm out to the side and up, and look up at your left hand. Now, as you're reaching your arm up, make sure to check in with your hips. Notice and ensure that they are still facing straight forward and level. Make sure that you haven't poked your hips way out to the left in an attempt to lift your arm up higher. Lower your hand back down, and then from here, stepping back into a plank pose. Hands under your shoulders, knees and thighs lifted, and squeeze your hands toward your feet. Fingers spread really wide here. We want to make sure that we're strengthening the forearms here and not damaging our wrist. So it's very important to press down the ball mounds of your fingers. We want to keep your forearms strong and make sure that your wrists are not doing too much work. That's not going to lead to anything good on the course. And then from here, lift your right leg up. Just working on a little bit more core strength, working on some upper body, and working on addressing that imbalance in your legs. So this is strengthening the left leg now. We're going to switch sides. Right leg down, left leg up, just a few inches. Try to keep your hips level. Keep your back active in addition to your chest. Your head away from your shoulders. Lower your foot down, and then lower all the way down, flat onto your chest for cobra. For cobra, squeeze your legs together. Press all 10 toes into the ground, the tops of your toes, and then press your pubic bone into the ground and lightly lift your chest. Poke the top of your head forward, squeeze your shoulders and your elbows in tight. So your shoulders are pulling down, your elbows are squeezing in, working on engaging all of the muscles in your back, all the while pressing your pubic bone into the ground and squeezing your core. Keep your legs, your thighs engaged as well. And then release back down. Let out a big breath. And we're going to move into a tabletop position from here. So this is a very good wrist stretch. I want you to flip your hands around so that your fingers are facing you, thumbs facing out, and then lean back. Now, if you're really tight, this might be enough right here. If you are tight, if this is painful, use your legs to help take some of the pressure out. And you can do that by bringing your knees a little bit closer to your hands. If you want to go deeper, lean your body away from your hands while pushing the bottoms of your palms into the ground. And breathing in and out of your nose. Try to relax your forearms as you stretch here. Okay, go ahead and relax. And we're going to move into down dog now. So for down dog, I want you to start in a plank pose with your index fingers facing forward, your thumbs facing in, fingers spread wide. Bend your knees toward the ground, and then push your chest back toward your thighs. So you're trying to form a straight line from your hands to your hips. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Make sure you're pressing down the ball mounds of your fingers, the area where your palms meet your fingers, and then push your butt up and back. Now walk your feet in, maybe just a couple inches, and again, bend the knees. If you don't feel this in your lower back, bend your knees, push your butt away from your body, up and back, until you feel a stretch in your lower back, and then you can straighten your legs maybe 1 or 2 inches. But the goal of down dog isn't primarily to stretch your hamstrings. We really want to target the lower back here, and we also want to target the shoulders in addition to the hamstrings and the calves. Down dog takes a long time to get down, so just work on getting as much out of it as you can now. One more breath here. And then take a big lunge up, step your right foot up between your hands for a warrior 2 pose. And then spin your back foot down. Your knee is going to be over your ankle in your front foot. And you're going to have your hips between your heels. Extend your left arm forward and then reach up and all the way to the back. Your arms are going to be extended in opposite directions, knee over your ankle. Now, if you feel like your lower back is arching here and you're not getting a stretch in your hips, bring your feet closer together. As long as your knee is over your ankle and you've got some stretching in your groin with the core engaged, that's the goal of Warrior 2. Now we're doing this because I want you to focus on strengthening your glutes and also the muscles surrounding your knees to help prevent knee injury. And this is also helping to improve hip flexibility, groin flexibility, which is essential for golfers. Bring your hands behind your back. Reach your hands down toward the ground. Lift your chest up. And now we're getting that counter to the posture that most golfers have, which is the leaning forward over the ball. So this is helping to counter that and bring your body back to where it's supposed to be. Extend your arms out in opposite directions. From here, we're going to move into a triangle pose. Straighten your right leg. Keep a slight bend to your right knee. Reach your right hand forward. Imagine that your body is between two walls here. Don't let your hips go to the back. Don't let your chest go forward. Keep it between those two walls, and then revolve 90 degrees. Bring your fingertips to the inside of your right ankle. Press your left arm up toward the ceiling, and look up at your left hand. Try to squeeze your legs toward one another, and this is going to stretch the inside of your right thigh. If you need to bend your knee, go ahead and bend your knee if that stretch is too intense. You can also use a block to help bring the ground up to your hand here for a little bit of extra support, and you'll also feel the stretch on the outer left hip. All right, from here, bring it back to a warrior two pose. We're going to move back down to the ground into a plank, and then take it back into a down dog. So expend a few breaths here. Again, shoulder blades kind of pinning into the back, shoulders away from the ears, pushing your butt up and back, bending the knees so that you can get the stretch in your lower back and feel that core engagement. And then step your left foot up between your hands. We're going to go to the opposite side. Spin your back foot down, squeeze your legs toward one another, knee over your ankle on your front foot, legs squeezing toward one another, hips facing directly out to the side. And here we'll feel the stretch in the groin, feel the core working, shoulders right on top of the hips, and arms extended in opposite direction. So you feel a stretch in the chest and the biceps. From here, bring your hands behind your back, reach your hands down toward the ground, pull your chest up, pull your shoulders down away from your ears, and this is going to help open the chest. One more breath here. Keep working on bending deeper into your left knee. Make sure the knee does not pass the ankle, and feeling the stretch in your groin. Bring your arms out to the sides and then straighten your left leg. Again, stay between those two walls and then surf your left hand forward. Revolve 90 degrees so your fingertips are pressing into the inside of your ankle, right arm pressing up toward the ceiling, looking up at your right hand to get that twist through your spine and also get the range of motion in your neck. Feeling the stretch on the inside of your thigh and also the top of your right hip now. One more breath here. Use your core to stay lifted. Don't sink down. And then bring it back to warrior two. From here, moving back to a plank. And then we're moving into dolphin. Now, dolphin is a fantastic exercise for your shoulders. Lower your forearms to the ground, about shoulder width distant, and squeeze your elbows toward one another. From here, walk your feet in, maybe just about 6 inches toward your elbows. Push your chest back. Make sure that your shoulder blades are retracting. And by that, I mean your shoulder blades pinned into your back. No winging of your shoulder blades here. Keep your core really strong. So you want your back flat here. And then walk in a little bit more. Press your butt up and back. Feel this stretch in your back and in your shoulders. And feel your shoulders struggle to keep you up here. Bend your knees as much as you need to flatten out your back. And the flat spine will feel like your lower back is stretching here. One more breath. And then relax your knees down. Okay, so dolphin pose. Very difficult, but very good for opening up your shoulders and very good for strengthening the shoulders. We're going to flip into a bridge position now. So come onto your back with your heels in toward your butt and your feet about hip width distant. Arms along your sides, palms facing up, and lift your hips off the ground. Keep your knees squeezing toward one another. So don't let your knees open up to the sides. Keep them squeezing toward one another. Engage your glutes. Press your stomach up toward the ceiling and keep the shoulders relaxed on the ground. You can even retract your shoulder blades here to get a really nice stretch through your chest. You're going to feel this in the backs of your thighs, your glutes, your core, and your lower back. So this is a really good exercise for your posterior chain. It's also very good for strengthening your lower back. It's also got a stretch for your hip flexors. There's a lot going on in this pose. All right, go ahead and relax down. We're going to move into a boat pose from here. Boat pose is very important for core strength and hip flexor strength. I want to start you off with your heels in toward your butt, sitting up as tall as possible. If you need to grab onto your knees to make that happen, that's fine. Press your core toward your thighs, sit up tall, and then bring your hands alongside your hips. Now, we're going to go through this in a progression. Squeeze your knees together and then lift your legs off the ground just a tiny bit. Try to lift your sternum up and lean back slightly, but keep your spine flat here. So if your spine is rounding like this, you're not doing the exercise. That's why we have the hands back here like this to help straighten out the spine and engage the core. When you feel comfortable doing this, you can lift your hands out in front of you and work on maintaining this position. So you'll feel your thighs working here, you'll feel your core working, and squeezing your legs together, lifting your sternum up, lifting your chest up, arms out to the sides, palms facing up. One more breath here. This is extremely important for core strength, for getting proper posture, and minimizing discomfort in your back. Go ahead and relax. Okay. Moving on to the restorative or the stretching portion of the workout. We're going to start with a reclined quad stretch. Tuck your left leg behind you. Tuck as many toes as you can, and then lightly lean back. Now, you might not need to lean back at all. You might feel the stretch already in this position, and that's fine. So if you're right here, feeling a really nice mean stretch in the top of your thigh, you don't need to go any further. If you're not feeling quite the intensity that you want to, you can lean back onto your right forearm, but make sure that you're avoiding pain in your lower back as you lean back. The next step is to go down to both forearms and relax your left hip toward the ground. So this is important because we spend a lot of time sitting, and even if you spend a lot of time standing, you don't get this motion with your knee. So we're stretching the knee extensors in this position, or your quads. That's going to help reduce tension in your knees. Go ahead and sit back up, and we'll switch sides. So tuck your right leg behind you. Lean back again if you'd like. If there's enough pressure just in this position, you don't need to lean back at all. But if you want more, lean back onto your left forearm. Again, feeling a stretch from the knee all the way to the hip. And if you want more, lean back onto the opposite forearm as well. You want to try and relax your right hip toward the ground here. If you feel discomfort in your ankle, that's normal. I'd encourage you to push through a little bit of the discomfort, because that just means that you need a little bit more range of motion in your ankles to be healthy. If it's too uncomfortable, try just tucking a couple toes instead of all of your toes. If it's way too uncomfortable for both your knee and your ankle, roll onto your side like so, and then grab your ankle with your back foot. All right, from here we're going to move into a figure four, a reclined figure four stretch. So cross your right leg over your left thigh, grab the back of your left thigh, pull your left thigh in toward your face, and lightly press your right knee forward. This is going to target the glutes on your right leg, your external hip rotators, your buttock muscles. And you can just hold this, relax onto your neck, and breathe in and out of the nose. You can relax your left leg as well here. Keep pressing the right knee forward lightly to deepen the stretch. Go ahead and switch sides. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Grab the back of your right thigh. Pull your right thigh in toward your face. Lightly press your left knee forward. And breathe in and out of the nose. Relax your neck. Relax your head onto the ground. And again, breathing in and out of the nose, nice and controlled. One more breath here. Keep the toes active, so I'm reaching my toes back toward my shin in this position. And then untuck. Sit up. We're going to do another stretch, a V stretch. So this is a seated V stretch, so get your legs out as wide as you possibly can. lean forward. Now, if you can't lean forward in this position, bring your hands on either side of your hips, slightly behind, and sit up as tall as possible. This is going to work on lower back flexibility, which is going to help keep your lower back pain free. And this is also going to help on core strength, not even mentioning the stretching that this will give to your inner thighs or your adductor muscles, which are also a very big culprit in the lower back pain story. You can lean forward more if that feels comfortable, but concentrate on keeping your spine flat. So you want to stay straight up and down. The goal here is not to lean forward with your lower back poking out like this, because that does nothing for your spine. Again, the goal is to keep your spine flat and lightly lean forward, and this way I've got a lot more going on in my lower back as I stretch. Okay, we're gonna go back to the ground and into a reclined twist. So knees over your hips, and then drape your knees over toward the right. Bring your right hand on top of your left knee. Extend your left arm out to the side. Try to get your left hip as far away from possible from your left shoulder. And relax here for 3 breaths. So just breathing in and out of the nose, feeling this stretch from your hip to shoulder, lower back pain relief, and just a nice reclined stretch. This is a very good stretch to do after you've finished golfing because of the twisting motion involved in the shot. All right, bring it back, and then we'll go over to the opposite side. So right knee, knees over to the right now, or the left. Extend your left arm, the right arm out to the side, and look over toward your right hand, completing the twist. So you're twisting all the way from the base of your spine up through your neck, which is also part of your spine. And breathing in and out of the nose, using this left hand here to pull your knee down a little bit more toward the ground to get a deeper stretch through your back. One more breath here. In and out of the nose. Slow and controlled. Always slow and controlled. Bring it back, and we're going to go into one final stretch. A seated forward fold. So, sit up as tall as you can with your legs out in front of you. If your lower back goes out like that, that's fine. I want you to bend your knees, press your stomach toward your thighs, grab your feet, maybe your ankles if you still haven't quite got that flexibility yet, and then pull your chest forward and up to target your lower back. Now, if this is easy, you can edge your feet forward a little bit more, but again, chest forward and up to target your lower back. Most people, when they do the seated forward fold, do something like this, and that stretches your hamstrings, but not your lower back. So bend the knees, pull your chest forward and up. We've got 2 more breaths here. Try and relax your shoulders. Pull your chest up and forward, and use your core strength here to press your lower back forward and get a deeper stretch for your lower back. All right, go ahead and relax. Okay, so that was the Yoga for Golf series from Manflow Yoga. Again, my name is Dean, and this is Yoga for Physical Fitness. I hope that you got a lot out of these exercises, that you can take some of these exercises into maybe your post-golf routine, or or even what you do before you get onto the course. If you have any questions about this, you can feel free to ask a question at askdean@manflowyoga.com. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, and make sure you subscribe to my email list. So all my products, all my latest announcements, any discounts or special info that I give out, that all goes usually through my email list. So I highly suggest checking that out and being a part of that if you want to learn more stuff like this. The mat that I'm using is a special cork yoga mat from Yoloha Yoga. It helps to prevent slipping, and it's also great, well, mainly because it prevents slipping. Anyways, my name is Dean. Again, this is Manflow Yoga, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.